Mike the Ref Maloney, Big Bad Boris on the call here tonight.
Let's go! Let go!
Third! The Super Kick Party! Yeah, pay the money for that. No one. And of course, you're gonna get the Coffin skin. Hey, yo, 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 and away we go. Happy Saturday night. My God, when you end up actually having to work your shoot job on a Saturday, and yeah, it's supposed to be working out that, you're supposed to try to get everything put together here, all one piece here, and it just doesn't work out. You get real close to showtime here. Hey, Cameron, how you doing today, sir? Hope everything's going well for you. Hope you're feeling a lot better from the ailments from before. We are here with our AEW Dynamite Sidecast, immediately followed by... We'll play it by ear, but we're probably going to end up watching Battle of the Belts as well. But also tonight we have our WWE 2K24 Week 13. Mr. Zodiac, how the hell you doing today? I hope you're doing well. I'm flying by the seat of my pants like I've been saying here. And speaking of flying by the seat of the pants... Hasn't this been one hell of a ride? We just finished the Red Sox game. Oh, yeah, you guys were winning by a couple touchdowns tonight, weren't you? Tired, but tomorrow's a day. Yeah, I just finished a 36-hour shift as Collision's just coming on the air now. Sorry, 32-hour shift. And then, I got a couple hours of that over here, so... Every second Friday, I got to work on calls, so if for some reason I get calls in the middle of the night, every time I'm on call, so it's just a big headache after another. But once again, everybody, thank you for stopping by here. How does the 32... Well, you work 8. You're basically at home on call for the next... would be from 4 p.m. to 7 a.m. you're on call. So that means you're going out if you get called, right? And stupidly for me, I usually get called out every time. I got called out a couple times. This is why we can't do any Friday night our Friday night streams are usually once every 2 weeks at most. Nigel McGuinness is on us. Okay, this is going to be fun tonight. Going to be interesting now that we got a little bit of a mix-up here in terms of who we got it. That show has brought so much buzz going on right now. As you're seeing here, Moxley winning the New Japan Pro Wrestling World Championship, IWGP World Championship. And from what I've heard, Moxley does have 4 or 5 confirmed dates for New Japan following this, and they don't run as often as they do here in North America with their programs. So, and of course, he says he's returning on Wednesday. Jesus. Well, I guess they're going to be talking to all the Blackpool Combat Club that day. Look at this main event we got coming up here. Danielson and Castagnoli versus Fletcher and Hobbs. Like, next week you got Castagnoli and Ospreay. Like I was saying just before before the show came on the air, what a flippin' week we've been involved in. Uh-oh. Damn. I love this. I love the fact that they say, yeah, you can beat us, but you can never hurt us. Swiss clockwork. I love these promos. Hope everybody's doing well in the chat. Everybody just starting to fly in here. I love this. And now we got the trios match with the House of Black to start off. I got a feeling this is going to be... They only have 4 matches scheduled right now currently for the main card here tonight. But I'm sure they're filling some in as they go. But later on tonight, they got Battle of the Belts here, which they only have 2 out of the 3 matches actually for a belt. Really surprising if you ask me, but I've been trying to get to this point for about 10 minutes now as we've been up on stream here. Hasn't it been one hell of a week? Like, as much as, you know, the mental gymnastics, the hatred, the venom, the online subterfuge of so many people, and the ride that we got, like, what happened on yesterday in Chicago? Do I feel that the videotape was necessary? No, but you know what happened out of it? Jack Perry just became a made man on top of the Bucks. Yes, you might get your CM Punk chants going on, which I'll be perfectly honest, I think they're gonna die out real quick. CM Punk was just a troll. Fans know how to troll wrestlers if they can. And these CM Punk chants that they were making, isn't that the ultimate way to troll somebody after they got beaten up? Especially a bunch of heels? And then the response that they were getting from the crowd in Chicago to Jack Perry with the Crimea River jacket that he was wearing, with the Chicago flag that he had. Then you add in the just the simple responses. So I'm guessing Darius wasn't available tonight, as Sydal is joining up with Action Andretti and Dante Martin. I hope Darius isn't injured again, and this is just a I can't make it kind of thing tonight. Oh, there you go. Well, at least that's the way Tony Khan can cut costs if he has his own pilots, right? Sorry, I had to. That was just way too easy. I really don't feel like this is going to be much of a match. This is going to be as much of a match as the Blackpool Combat Club wants it to be here tonight. Especially as we're moving towards the pay-per-view coming up next Sunday. Which, by the way, everybody, programming note, we're here for Dynamite on Wednesday at week 14 of WWE 2K. Next Saturday night, we'll be here for Collision. Immediately followed by our Fastlane pay-per-view, if we actually have enough of a roster left. And then Sunday, we'll be here for the Dynasty pay-per-view. And I'm going to be joined by Andre Melball Wrestling Talk, our local establishment, Saturday night's main event, and Backbreaker Video's own Andre C. Yes, I haven't had time to get the graphic here. It's been a busy week. What can I say? With as many injuries that the young high flyers have, I think it's even more apparent that you have Jericho backstage as a trainer, giving his record of low injuries, even as a cruiserweight. You know what? That's actually a very good point there. But I would prefer the exact word you said there. Backstage as a trainer. Like right now in the ring, Jericho is just... It almost feels like Jericho right now is what everybody feared Sting would be in terms of what he was doing for the... Well, Sydal's getting a few shots in. Everybody was scared that, you know, these veterans, they're going to try and run the roost and all that. And they just didn't have that. Like, Sting was an absolute gentleman. And I don't know. I think Jericho might be one of those that might overstay his welcome. From what I remember, there was a very smart man that gave a very important quote about this. Either you die a hero or you live long enough to become the villain. And Jericho is idling very close to that point where he might end up becoming the villain very soon. And I don't mean a heel, I mean an actual villain here, so. He has an enormous amount of value, but not on TV every week. Exactly, like, there's a lot of things he could do to help, but it's almost as if TK is just saying, here, you can do whatever you have the carte blanche. And right now, it would be a great time to see TK not necessarily put his foot down, because I think I'll be frank. I'll be Mike in that case, but anyway, I feel TK has a little bit more control over his locker room than a lot of people think. One thing as a manager that I have learned is sometimes it's a bonus if you can find a way to influence everybody to work in a certain direction. You're in charge, but it doesn't almost feel like you're in charge. Jesus, Brody! I still can't get over the fact that Brody King could do these dives like this. Yeah, I wonder how many... They're probably going to give this a 2-segment show here. Or a 2-segment match. Luva kick never finished off anybody. What are we talking about here? Probably should have kept... You know what? In some way, I agree with you. But here's the other thing, and sorry, I forgot to do the... I forgot to put my shout out that we're actually live right now, but one thing that... One thing that I find more important than anything else right now, don't ever tell anybody to work someplace that you don't really want to be at. Regal at that point apparently wanted to be with his son, wanted to spend some time with him. Yes, he might have sticking around for the bigger leadership role, but if he really wants to hang out with his son and work with Hunter, who he's worked with all his life, you can't really blame the guy for going, right? Sorry, I had to get that X post out to make sure everybody knew, but you know, we don't know enough about what's going on backstage. Oh, we're getting the full picture here in Canada this week. Excellent. But once again, like I said, we can't say what's actually going on back there. We saw the footage of what happened in one incident. And I'm still going to say this with all fervor and seriousness. I think Punk fit better in WWE than he would in AEW. And sometimes you get a little addition by subtraction. And you can really notice after he left that the promotion is done a lot better. Like, and the fact that I saw this funny quote from somebody here, and you can take it with about 16 pounds of salt if you ask me, but if you can use somebody, not pay them and get them over, and get other people over because of that person, as much as TK has this week, you gotta admit he's not going to get those respect points for simply because he's not a wrestler, just like you were saying here, Zodiac. Just see more that TK isn't a wrestler, grew up around wrestling, so he's running AEW more than a fan than anything else. Sometimes it's great, other times it's not. And Triple H and even McMahon have that edge over him. Well, McMahon actually got in the ring as well, so. And then yes, he does run it as a fan, and sometimes that works out, sometimes it doesn't. You got to realize sometimes some of these gambles aren't going to work, and that works for any promotion. Best example I can give, and it's based on a book that I just picked up. I just received yesterday. Sorry, I got it on my nightstand. I've already gotten into it. It's really interesting. The Becky Lynch book. Does anybody remember that back at that SummerSlam when Becky was supposed to turn heel on Charlotte and the crowd was absolutely having none of it? Not everybody's going to bat 1,000. And nobody's going to bat 1,000. Let's put it that way. Unless you're me and playing on rookie mode. And even then, I'm not even going to get better than 750. Because, sometimes you're going to miss. It's all about how you react to things after you do them. And once again, like I said, as much as everybody craps on what happened on Wednesday, and yes, the initial hit and all the fervor from all the ex-wrestlers and all these reports that came out, yes, it's not good. But if you look at what happened here over the last little bit, and to me the big one is what happened last night with Jack Perry. Oddly, I don't think people are missing Charlotte. Gotta wonder how she'll fit in when she... Yeah, that's definitely another item we can talk about as well here, because like we're talking about the men's roster being oversaturated. What about the women's roster in WWE right now? If they're running as many matches as, well, let's face it, on Raw this week they had as many matches on there as Dynamite usually does, or as much screen time. I know that's an exception, not a rule, but still, it's. I said it before and I'll say it again. When it comes to women's wrestling in WWE, outside of Candice LeRae, who just showed up, let me know a lot longer withstanding feud going on right now in WWE. You could say Chelsea Green in a way, but even then, that's just being squashed by Jade Cargill every week, so. The booking of the women's division could be better in both companies, not just one. Poor Chelsea. Yeah. It's what happens when people open their mouth too much and they get in trouble, right? Oh, poor Action. Poor Action. Yeah, no, we're done here. Malachi, I think, is just about to say thank you. Well, Malachi just said, let's go over the top. This has actually been a really entertaining night to start the night off. Oh, yeah, this is over. Oh. Nice counter. I love how Shivani's trying to change every single thing. Like, not trying to call him a super kick, just call him a bump kick. Oh, God. All right, time to spam some finishers. Jesus. I swear, Brody King does need a heavyweight title run. Yeah, he killed his partner at the same time he saved the match here, right? $20 in already. This is pretty awesome here as we're going through here. Once again, everybody, thank you for stopping by. I truly do appreciate it. I know the Saturdays can be a little bit chaotic, but hopefully me and little Kenny here. Oh, let me just tap the head here. Yeah, this match has really picked up steam. It's almost like they wanted to get through that first commercial break, and then they can start building things together here to finish it off. Big Brody on the 1 count. This is not good. Uh-oh. Yeah, this is it. Now it's time to wrap this up. A little meeting in the middle there. I do love the fact that they have like 4 or 5 different ways to finish you off. And that's what you should have as a trios team, right? Now, do we get the Copeland run in? We were constantly getting the team rated Chicken Hawks as a I want to see Copeland against all 3 of these guys. Let's just 3 singles matches, run the gauntlet, whatever. That mixed tag will be a lot of fun. Wonder how they're going to do the rules on that. I'm assuming they're going to have to do Fed rules because there's one thing to remember when it comes to match booking here. When it comes to the women's matches being involved, Tony Khan actually does put quite a few women's matches on the pay-per-view. It's the TV, so you got to label it down to there might be a possibility there's a little bit in regards to the... oh, got to get the lip lock on here. There you go. There's some ratings right there. Lip locks are, you know, of course that's going to take somebody's thoughts right away here. Only pure thoughts. Pure thoughts. Pure. Is participation bad enough as a pure thought there? A fetish periodical. Jesus. Know what ratings are down for AEW right now, but matches are still great. When MJF and Cole come back, here's the thing. Oh, we get Moriarty Shibata next. That's going to be a lot of fun. My personal feeling is, overall, you're not going to see very high ratings, period, right now. One of the biggest things about AEW right now is the competition that they got. Remember, this Wednesday is the last night of the regular season of the AHL. The NBA is wrapping up as well. I do believe the play-in tournaments are this week for both the West and Eastern Conference and the NBA. So that's going to hog up a lot of the time here and a lot of the viewership. As soon as playoffs kick in, it does kick back a little bit here for AEW. And I just don't think you're going to see numbers that everybody thinks they're going to see. Oh, you have to get to 1 million. We don't know that. We don't know if they have to get to 1 million. If the execs see that, you know, we're holding strong despite all these playoffs going on, AEW might be offered a deal regardless. Like, who was I? I think it was Thurston I was looking up they were talking specifically about Collision, and everybody's talking about, oh, what poor ratings. They only got 300,000 or whatever for it. Prior to AEW Collision being on here, they were getting roughly 100,000 to 150,000 for the movies that they were putting on in this time slot. So if they're basically doubling their viewership without really increasing the cost a whole lot on their end, I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. So do I wish they had 1 million viewers for every single show that they had? Absolutely. Do I think the product as a whole, in terms of the matches, is worth it? Absolutely. Do I think, once again, Zodiac, you're right on the head here. I do think Cole's injury held back some of that potential. His reveal the Devil should have ended with him with the belt. Swerve and Joe are fantastic. Cole and MJF for charisma. That top half of the card is, like, once we get all hands on deck put together here, like, hell, I could even go into the women's division here and say Baker and Hayter when they come back. Like, that division's going to get stoked just as much. Mr. Callahan, how the heck you doing here tonight? We're having a ton of fun here. We're just talking about, ratings and what things got better. You know, all that stuff that, what doesn't involve wrestling right now as we're in the commercial break. Just had an absolute great match here tonight with the House of Black against Dante Martin, Matt Sydal, and formerly Evan Bourne in WWE, and Action Andretti, one of the newcomers. And we get to see the stupid Jericho here. Stupid Jericho spot. Of course Jericho had something to say. Taz broker. Oh, God. This... Another option for Chris Jericho. Be a manager and start his own family opposite Don Callis. I honestly feel that Jericho is not going to quit until he could get the Golden Jets, the hockey, the infamous hockey team here, get them the AEW tag team titles. Like they were supposed to have before the injury, right? Oh, it's great to see Shibata once again here today against Lee Moriarty, which Lee Moriarty's one of the top independents that just recently signed. Jets tag times, it's the only time Weedy Peg will be on top. I'll give that. I'll give that. And I will give... I'll give you one of those too. But yeah, Lee Moriarty was part of Shane Taylor Promotions in that 6-man last week. So... I'll be perfectly honest, the whole Taiga style, I'm not 100% sure how that goes, but all I know is this man can absolutely go. Like if you want to look at some people here that grew up together and are coming in at the same time, Jake, I don't think you've been able to see Daniel Garcia work yet. You might see him. I do believe you're going to get to see him coming up tonight. There's also Wheeler Yuta, who is the ROH Pure champion. The Pure division has a special set of rules. It's very classic wrestling type. Oh, goody. Anthony Ogogo on commentary here. But yeah, I think this first 5 minutes here, you're just going to see pure wrestling from everybody. Can't deny it. It's all Jericho's fault, though, so. So while we got a second here, they're just feeling each other out at this point here. Which match on that Dynasty card are you looking most forward to right now? That's the one thing I would like to try and figure out for a lot of people, because it's all over the place if you ask me, because I guess I'll come back after the ad break here. I'll ask one more time here, but been watching some AEW over the past few weeks. I saw Garcia fight someone, just can't remember. Garcia's one of those that gets a lot of matches here. At the last pay-per-view, he ended up taking on Christian Cage for the 2 pay-per-views ago. No, last pay-per-view, Revolution, that's right. He was taking on Christian Cage for the TNT Championship. The one that Adam Copeland now has. But at this time last year, they were just starting to set up a fatal 4-way with Jack Perry. If you've watched anything on the internet right now, Jack Perry's the center of attention. You had Darby Allin, who was Sting's tag team partner in his final run here in AEW. You had Daniel Garcia, and you had Maxwell Jacob Freeman, who's another gentleman. If you want to watch some great wrestling, watch him. If you like the old Southern style. He's the former AEW champion up until the end of the year when Joe took it from him. But I love the fact how these two are just going at so precisely right now. Gonna love how Shibata so precise on even breaking out of holds. So there's a little bit more woo energy on the counters there, so. And of course, it's a distraction spot. Jeez. Yeah. So Anthony Ogogo, like we said, he's a former Olympic boxer, boxed for England. And that's what they were playing up that shot. Looked like the ref saw it, yeah, like Thomas isn't that bad for that, but I know there's a couple referees that are absolutely horrible. They're like the Angel Hernandez of officiating in wrestling. Like, if you watch MLB, you know exactly who I'm talking about here. Couldn't believe his game on Friday night. If you don't know what I'm talking about, it was Texas and Houston. JP France is at the plate. Bases loaded. Count is 2 balls and no strikes. 3 pitches in a row. Each pitch was at least 6 inches outside of the plate. They were all called strikes by this umpire. Like, literally, just... And it just, yeah. People still can't figure out why he's still an employee, but... I love the breakdown of how to box here by Anthony Ogogo on the side. Yeah, they're going to milk this for the rest of the commercial break, and then I'd love to see Shibata still get the win, but one thing I like more than anything about this is the fact that Shibata literally is getting stories. Like, he hasn't had anything for a while, and now he's starting to develop this ever since last week. He ate that pin. Now we're getting this match. Maybe we'll get a few more and we'll get the story developed a little better out of this. Oh, both guys have their ribs hurt now. Jesus! Running him into the turnbuckle or running him into the side, then just using your boot right there. That's pretty awesome. Oh god, Toronto Maple Leafs fans are going to be absolutely insufferable tonight. Austin Matthews just got his 69th goal of the season, and I will not call that nice. I refuse to call that nice. Moriarty's just loading up. And Shibata's just standing there like, the hell are you doing? He didn't get the second time. That was just horrible. I love how Lee's just yet. No, we're going to do this. Let's go. That's another thing that I appreciate here with AEW. I find that a lot more of the wrestlers are a lot more honest about the ability of everybody else. It's an old Bret Hart adage that I wish a lot more wrestlers would develop, where you actually find a way to put over your opponent and their abilities. Because the more you put them over, the more impressive it is when you defeat them. So... Oh no, this abdominal stretch will be absolutely horrible. Mike Menard, he's actually got some pretty good calls here as he's going along, analyzing the match. Him and Paul White were doing a ton of work together on Dark. Basically, prior to the Collision era, AEW had what was called AEW Dark and Dark Elevation. Basically, it was a way to create enhancement matches for all the talent. They would have a bunch of locals come in, and they get to work with some of the big card and lower wrestlers. Uh-oh, Shibata's ready to go. Both guys are ready to just unload right now. That might not be the smartest move to get caught behind by Shibata there. Oh, that's how you fix that. Uh-oh. PK! Ogogo's just depressed because any of his English football follies will never be able to do that. That stiff of a kick there. That kick was pretty awesome. Oh, here comes Shane Taylor. And this is where Hook comes out to make the save. Because they got to set something up for Battle of the Belts tonight, right? Oh, they found the magical button. The magical button is back. So, for those that are new here, and you're like, what the hell is this guy talking about? Zodiac and I came up with this great idea, and a bunch of us during a Dynamite. So, in order for the wrestlers to come out to the ring to get involved in these kind of spots, they actually have to run by and hit this buzzer that'll actually play their music before they can come out. That's why you always hear the music go off before they come out instead of just having them come out. It's such a bone of contention for us that, if you're going to make the save, just make the damn save. I love how Shane Taylor and Hooker both look just ready to go. Have to. No music, no save. Exactly. But we actually figured there's got to be some kind of it's easy button from Staples or from Family Feud when you're doing the face-off. They got those big red buzzers there. This match was absolutely awesome. If you guys get a chance and you have watchroh.com and you signed up for Honor Club, go back and watch this. Watch the whole card. Because every match on there was an absolute battle. This was so much drama here in this point. Billy Starks turned heel right in the middle of a match where nobody expected it.
Ladies and gentlemen, tonight we are calling an emergency a minion empowerment meeting. And Athena, as the women's Ring of Honor champion, you will be taking on Red Velvet in the main event of Battle of the Belts.
Oh, main event tonight.
TNT live. I deserve all of this because I am that damn good. Yeah, you deserve all of this, boss. But you got your hands full tonight. Red's really good. She made it super far in the tournament. But you won, Billy. You won it, didn't you? You won a TV championship. I understand that Red Velvet is a top star. I understand that Red Velvet is a threat. But I am the best champion in all of wrestling. I am the Minion Overlord. I am the Fallen Goddess. I am the real
The Minion Overlord.
champion. And tonight, Red Velvet, I'm gonna make an example out of you and show the world what they've been missing.
If you have, if you ever get a chance, Athena Palmer, I believe is the Twitch name. She actually runs her own Twitch channel. She plays video games once in a while. She hasn't been doing as much lately, but she still does quite a bit. The amount of minions that she has, like from Despicable Me, like that's where the whole gimmick came from, is the fact that she has all these minions at home and she just adds a few more on the roster here. But you notice that Billy was trying to warn her about how far it's going to be, how tough it's going to be to take on Red Velvet. I'm actually impressed the fact that Red Velvet is getting a main event here. I'm assuming that she's got all the rust off from her injury, because I know her first match back, it was a little rough in there. But as we run through the commercial break here, we're going to be getting Daniel Garcia in action coming up here in just a moment. So as we were talking about earlier, with Daniel Garcia being one of the pillars here. When it comes to the AEW roster, like we were chatting about this earlier part of the show here. We do have a lot of people on the injured list right now, and it's nice to get these extra people the exposure right now. But can you imagine when everybody gets off that list and gets back up 100% here? Like, I would rather have them ready to go for the summer, because between Double or Nothing, All Out, and All In, one in May and the other two in August and September, you can't tell me that if you don't have those three should be their absolute priority here, especially the show at Wembley. Because yes, they're going to sell a lot of tickets, but I think you'll start seeing the bigger boost for ticket sales for Wembley when they finally start heading the storylines to get Will Ospreay into that title picture. Because I've said it since pretty well January. We're going to get Swerve Strickland versus Will Ospreay for the heavyweight title. It just makes so much sense. You could still run your Adam Cole versus MJF feud on the lower card to get rid of that. Because, just for the record, Forbidden Door is actually in Long Island this year. That's the other thing that came down. With all the craziness came down, here's the couple points I want to remind myself about here. Everybody's just lambasting. Oh, never mind. Undisputed Kingdom.
Would you attribute any of that success to Wardlow, who happens to... How dare you? How dare
You're not even putting the damn title on the line tonight.
Gentlemen that do not even deserve it. Sure, I'm making them earn it, but they don't even deserve it. How dare you? I can't believe it. But hey, I've been doing it on my own, just like my good friend Kyle O'Reilly. He has inspired me.
They're trying so hard to get Kyle, and Kyle's not going to come back.
Tonight, I'm putting on a show. You know what that show's called? The Beating of a Lifetime. Love that show. You ever seen it?
Okay.
The arrogance that is the Undisputed Kingdom and Roderick Strong. And how about the change of demeanor from Lexi there once she's not an MIT? Maybe you didn't train her.
I love how Shivani's like, yeah, no, we're just going to change that real quick. Let's credit Lexi to changing her outfit. Sort of try to mock the pre-tape, even though it was just taking off of a jacket.
Here we go, Tony. You see the dance? Saturday night has officially started. Daniel Garcia in the
That guy should not be dancing. As long as he's having fun, though, that's, I guess, what matters. So did you guys read the report about everybody was ripping on Shivani being all depressed when the footage came up, thinking that Shivani was not wanting to be a part of it? And he just did. Everybody just doesn't realize that Shivani acts disgusted at so many different things. I like the Latin beat they had, like his Mexican music. I guess his music was from AAA, so they couldn't use it anymore. But he's got very mellow music going on. Good old Serpentico with his, his own spider webs coming out here. So Serpentico and Angelico, as he wants to call him now, they've been the epitome of enhancement talent for a while here. But Angelico, they seem to be starting to get a little bit more of a serious side to him, even though he dances like that. Oh, back to the Strickland versus Ospreay match that I expect. Just call it a fever dream here, and I want him to do it just to see what all the trolls say about it. If you actually go on the interwebs and look up Strickland Ospreay Uptown Funk, there was a match they did in England, I believe it's for Rev Pro, where they actually broke down in a dance throughout the entire song in their match. Good old Menard there. Just beat him up. Don't worry about anything else. Even Serpentico saying the same thing to Angelico here. So. Now that's supposed to be meaning a lot to Ian Riccaboni, because Allentown is the hometown of Riccaboni, and on his bucket list he's always had, he wants to call a show in his hometown. Oh, they're bringing up the Jackie Garcia. Don't bring up the father though. So for those that are new here and did get a chance to hear the epic promo battle between Christian and Daniel Garcia, Christian actually looked up the cemetery where Daniel Garcia's dad was buried, and actually gave the address out on a live promo. So everybody's feverishly looking up addresses. Because, you know, everybody on the internet wants to dox everybody else. But when they started looking it up on Google Maps, it was a cemetery. One of the best trolls ever. I am very happy that Garcia has a very different style from Teddy Hart, because the tights look almost identical. Except there's no cats around the ring, neither. Sorry about that, guys. I've never seen a boo yay chant based on a figure four leg lock. That's a kick fight! Oh, that's hilarious. And one thing we've also talked about is the fact that things are a little bit more loose, a little bit more fancy free here. Some things are, like, it's not everything's going to be as crisp as you're going to see that you see in other places, right? As Garcia's trying to fire up here. Sorry, just catching a quick note here that just came down here for me here. Sorry about that. Oh, Garcia slipped, but he still made it look pretty flawless there. Jesus! Shout out to Dustin Rhodes there with that one. Okay, that hurt. Backdrop driver. Oh, he's got to do a leg lock now. That's going to be it. Because he used to do the Dragon Slayer as basically sharpshooter, Scorpion Deathlock, whatever we want to call it. Now he just goes with a straight heel hook. I like this. Good match with these two. Get a chance to see Garcia get a little bit of a run back here after I think this might be his first TV match since losing to Christian, right? All right, so yeah, we're getting Pac and Okada at the pay-per-view in a match I still can't figure out who's going to win. Because nobody wants to lose. Those two never lose. Uh-oh, Pac's going to be pissed. Eh.
And now, as a result, I have a perpetual headache that serves as motivation to remind everybody exactly who I am.
So, Puck just told us he got a concussion?
Tall and handsome. I am not a Japanese superstar. I do not own a Ferrari, and I am certainly not flavor of the month.
Ha! Flavor of the month, I love it.
Think you're God's gift to professional wrestling, but you're not.
No, that we got a local guy that's called that.
Next Sunday at AEW Dynasty, live from St. Louis,
I still like chat. Who's gonna win that? I'm assuming Okada will. But Pac never loses. Like, a lot of people think that the reason that Orange Cassidy got his title match against Omega and Pac is the fact that Pac didn't want to eat the pins, so you had to bring in a third man to get the covers. So yes, here we go. Toni Storm coming in, top of the second hour. Gotta love it. So I've always wondered about this. For an Eliminator match, if you beat the champion, but the champion loses before you get the chance of the title, do you have to go back and do another Eliminator match to the new champion? Oh, and shout out to Thunder Rosa here tonight with the Sakura and Thunder Rosa Street Fighter shirt tonight. So I love the fact that we got Stardom people coming in. We got CMLL people coming in. And of course, Anna Jay's got to be coming out and helping her out now. I just find it interesting that Anna Jay, just depending on the week, could come out of either entrance. Face or heel. But I wonder if they're actually going to make Anna Jay a full member of Queen's Quest here in this case. I love how there's such a lack of care about this. Why would Anna Jay pull a Zumi in between her and Mariah? Let you guys had your match, you're done. Tony's outfits are like next level here, classic. Gotta love the old-fashioned black and white polka dots. Ah, yes. Well, the thing is, it's actually smart to do it this way because, well, Tony spent so much time in Stardom that he'll know the entire scenario, what's going on here. Okay. Just gotta absorb this a little bit here with Azumi coming in. I don't know, when it comes to Tony, it might not be the worst thing. Try to outsmart her because, you know, this gimmick has created a little bit of fervor with her. Nice. Fans are enjoying it. We're all enjoying it. Life is going good. I'll have to check with Andre. I'm glad he's going to be here, a part of us for Dynasty here. He can help me out, figure out some of the details. Ooh. Really? We get another 3 hours of wrestling next Saturday? What are we turning into, Raw here? That actually makes a lot of sense, because then Dynamite on Wednesday, they're actually going to tape ROH. Because they have to catch up because of today. Cat fight! Ray Dog and your Saturdays? Yeah, I know. Like, I don't mind, because next weekend I do have Sunday off. Because the day of the pay-per-view, I like to take it off. That way we get... Because we're going to be starting at like 4:30 our time here, so... If I'm supposed to work till 4, it sort of defeats the purpose to try to get out on time for that. I gotta go. Now that Tony Khan's released the schedule for the rest of the year, I'm gonna see if I can get the rest of the days off. Jesus! Shibata, eat your heart out with that PK there. Menard says she doesn't look all there. She never does look all there. It's nice to see Tony just working so well with her right now. I've always thought, like, Menard has a very good point there. Like, ever since I've seen, like, Bryan Danielson's been the absolute king of doing that match. Or doing that move here. They call it the shotgun or the European drop kick, where you land straight on your back. If you don't do it perfectly, you could end up in big trouble there. Tony tried to get all the poses in. Like, oh man, I don't expect to see much in terms of title. I wish we would get one title change eventually at these Battle of the Belts, because I think in 10 times there's been one title change. And I don't even know if there was that many. I think these Battle of the Belts are basically just required by WBD. Tony's showing off such elegance right now. Luther is just Festus with a tan. That's all he is right now. If people actually looked up what Luther used to do, but prior to joining Toni Storm, you would not believe the change in persona here. Like, you think Tony's different. Luther used to be a deathmatch specialist. Like, him and Serpentico used to be the Chaos Theory here. Well, at least we'll see something be successful in the truest arena here. Lone North Calipari wasn't that successful. Sorry if you're a college basketball enthusiast, you know what I'm talking about. Other than that, that's one of those jokes that you don't know if it's going to go through or not because you don't know what your audience knows or not doesn't know. Just coming in, unload those shots. Kick to the back of the head. Oh, wow. Okay. I love how Azumi hits her so hard that she just continues spinning and falls on her own back. Is Toni trying to do crunches there now? It almost looks like it at some point there. Nice. All right, what are we getting off the top here? I think that was supposed to be a double stop, but she overshot where Toni was supposed to be there. Still, the camera angles look good there, so. The last few months, I will say that even though the production has goofed once in a while, it's really sharpened up quite a bit. Baldo Bob only gets you two? Baldo Bob made famous by Albert.
Toni Storm back to the attack again. I don't know if Toni Storm was still expected to be up here at this point. Azumi tried to hook the ropes that time, but Toni held her grip. Azumi will whip her down.
I want to see Azumi just pull off the upset here out of nowhere. Wow. I thought I was gonna get those powers that I was having on Wednesday. For everything I asked for, it just seemed to come up every 2 minutes or not even 2 minutes oh God. Azumi just landed right on her head. We didn't need the classic. Come on now. Storm Zero work out to 300. I give AEW production such credit that all of a sudden they pull that. But chat, your thoughts on Azumi here? This was her debut on Collision here. As we're starting to get a lot more exchanges between, well, with Stardom, with CMLL, with DDT Pro, if you want to count Takeshita in that in terms of a talent exchange. Well, there you go. That's not quite a kiss, but... All right. That's enough. Were you saying Toni Storm heard that or Mariah May heard that? Okay, so we're going to be hearing from Thunder Rosa here right after the break. Oh.
I'm standing here with Red Velvet. Red, tonight you face Athena for a Ring of Honor Women's World Championship title in the main event of Battle of the Belts. How do you feel going into such a high-profile match? High-profile match? I am high profile. I saw what your boss said about me. Really stirring up the pot. All right, Athena, you want to stir up the pot? Let's stir up the pot. Tonight, in the main event of Battle of the Belts, I'm laying you out. Because I'm not a stranger
Well, she's not adverse to big matches. She was the tag team partner of Cody Rhodes when Shaq and Jade were on the other side. There is one thing she is adverse to right now, and that's winning. So she's always performing well, but she's never winning anything. So I don't know how that changes. I don't think you give that title to Red Velvet at this point, unless you plan on putting Athena on the main roster. I would be downright shocked if that happens tonight. But it's so funny because you know what's going to happen if she does end up winning. The internet's buzzing. Oh, Tony, could you please give us one victory to make this worthwhile? One title change. Next thing you know, Red Velvet defeats Athena. Like, how could you do this to Athena? You're burying her.
You idiot!
That's all I would say about that going forward. But yeah, this pay-per-view is really starting to shake up very well here. Between Samoa Joe and Swerve Strickland, you got Thunder Rosa and Toni Storm. You got Willow Nightingale and Julia Hart. You got the finals of the tag tournament with FTR Bucks 4. You got the Rated Chicken Hawks, I believe is what Adam Copeland called them, against the House of Black. You got Adam Copeland, Eddie Kingston, and Mark Briscoe. I don't know how you get Rated Chicken Hawks out of that, but it must be a Canadian thing. Even though I am Canadian, I still can't figure it out. But anyway, there's going to be a few more matches added onto the... Well, we got Danielson and Ospreay, of course. How can I forget that? And based on some of the things going on this week, I'm sure there's going to be a couple more matches announced before we get the full card. It's AEW. There's got to be at least 11 matches on the card, I would think. But to me, once again, like, everybody can make fun of what happened this week with the promo video and exposing the footage and all that stuff. That at the end of the day, if it gets more eyes watching a product, even if it is for a short term, then they can turn around and see what's available and maybe turn it into a long term. As long as the wrestling is still good, you're still going to get positive results. Do I think ultimately this will be looked back as the biggest blunder in the world? No. I'll say that point blank. No. This is not going to kill a company regardless. Hold on. Mark Briscoe. I do love that you had Eddie Kingston versus Mark Briscoe at the main event of Supercard of Honor here last Friday. And the promo that they did after the show in promoting Dynasty here, Eddie Kingston's like, you saw how much I beat and batter into somebody I enjoy? What am I going to do to you? Since I don't like you whatsoever. I find it interesting how they use this angle a lot more now. It's more of a 80s feel. Remember when WWF superstars and whatnot would have their stage just off to the side? where where the wrestlers would just walk up to do their promos and then walk back down the main ramp if they're going to the ring or back to the dressing room. I like this for the fact that there's a packed house here. I like that everybody's starting to come out and just talk about the 5-year anniversary.
And that's reasons to remind people that I don't need help. And I'm talking especially to you, Deonna Purrazzo. I don't need your help to win this championship. I want to remind you that I did a lot of stuff on my own. When I won my college degree, when I earned my citizenship here in the United States, when I helped all these people when I was a social worker, all those matches that I had, especially when I won that title. But most importantly, I fought so hard here to be in AEW, and I'm still here in AEW because it's where the best wrestle.
But with all due respect, that first half of those accomplishments, while good on her, it's like, okay.
What happened to you, homegirl? We were together in the ring. I mean, we were side by side as Thunder Storm. I mean, you became completely crazy and you forgot. I mean, I was so proud of being a champion, on holding that title. But my body couldn't carry me as far as my passion did. So I had to heal. And that day, something died inside of me. But I have an opportunity to. I have another opportunity on Dynasty. And Antonio, it is important that you know that I'm gonna do it this Sunday in San Luis.
It's next Sunday.
But I want to remind you that I didn't live here because I couldn't carry the weight of that title. At Dynasty, I will carry more than that title. I will carry the pride of my people. I will carry the support of my family. And if I have to break every single bone in my body,
Honestly, I don't think there's a single way Thunder Rosa wins that title.
that locker room who fights every single day for an opportunity and for respect, because they also believe that here at AEW is where the best wrestle.
Well, there it is. There it. I think we've heard it 3 or 4 times tonight now.
You probably should kiss your clone goodbye. You made a big mistake on trying to erase this mask of my face, because you don't want to see what is underneath here. Remember, you can't heal what is already dead. And on Sunday
She gonna go full gothic on Sunday?
for you, I'm coming for the title. And I'm coming to drag your soul to hell.
All right. She used hell. That's gonna get her an extra few brownie points here, but that early part of the promo seemed to drag, and all of a sudden, finally, it started getting a little momentum there as it went along. Oh, God.
Thunder Rosa, if you don't want my help, that's fine. I'll help myself. When I staked my claim at the AEW Women's World Championship, it wasn't personal. It's because, frankly, I don't think Toni Storm embodies what it means to be a world champion.
I think everybody's at this point now.
I'm a workhorse, I'm a thoroughbred, I am the virtuosa Deonna Purrazzo. And I could stand here and make excuses about why I'm not the AEW Women's World Champion right now. Or I could do something about it. It seems if I can't get one Toni Storm, I might as well get the other. So next week, Mariah May versus the virtuosa Deonna Purrazzo.
All right.
And I'm gonna break your arm.
Okay, I can live with that. Next Saturday, we get Purrazzo and Mariah May.
A very impassioned talk, speech, whatever you want to call it, interview about the Women's World Championship. And of course, no doubt about it. Well, fans, we have just been given some blockbuster news right
Whoa, okay, here we go.
now. The world title match is coming up for the World Tag Team Championship. It will be a ladder match. That's exactly right. Look at that.
So now they're putting it up to a ladder match.
The World Tag Team Championship has now become a ladder
Bucks versus FTR in a ladder match now.
and it's coming up 1 week from Sunday.
Well, we just got a little bit more crazier now. It had to be a stipulation match. They've had 3 regular matches so far. So it actually makes a lot of sense to do that. So, yeah, I think it's also based on what we've seen before. With just try to change things up a little bit here as we move forward. But yeah, we're getting our main event. Well, I guess they have to do their main event early here tonight because they have to finish on time because they have to do Battle of the Belts starting at 8 o'clock or 10 o'clock in some other areas here. But yeah, it's so far it's been actually a lot of fun watching tonight. Like, I would say the only hiccup I saw through the entire thing was the first half of Thunder Rosa's promo. Like, I get that those things are very important to you, like getting your citizenship and helping out as a social worker. Nope. Wrestling fans don't care about you being a social worker. You bringing up Mission Pro Wrestling, that would have gotten a bit of a pop. Look, I'm out here supporting women's wrestling. I created my own promotion just to help out. And if I'm sure TK would probably give it the green light to mention it. And especially if it's an all women's promotion. Say something like that, but she said those things to say she did those things on her own. That's fair, actually. RK Shuttlesworth, thank you for the first time chat here, and that actually makes sense. And yeah, I the fact that she's done all this on her own, and that's the key point. You're exactly right. I will say I have to I'll take a step back on that, but it just almost felt like I don't know if it felt like it belonged there or not, but the crowd sort of didn't get behind it until she talked about her citizenship. They got a little bit of a pop out of that. But yeah, I totally see your point now, and I completely I'll take a step back on that. Absolutely. I think their promo, in the long run, her promo got the job done, and that's what matters, right? So, but how you doing, RK? I hope you're doing well here tonight. I hope everybody's enjoying our episode of AEW Collision here tonight. I think we're already in for a penny. We might as well go in for a pound. We'll hang around for Battle of the Belts as well tonight, as we're probably going to get one upset here, because you don't put an eliminator match on a Battle of the Belts show and not have the challenger win. Because the fact that I think it was interesting how they're just starting to ignore Wardlow in terms of not giving him the credit for some of the victories that they've had. Then, of course, Hook and Shane Taylor, that's going to be your big man, small man match. I don't see that one being overly long. And then your main event, Athena and Red Velvet. Could you imagine they put the title on Red Velvet tonight?
Tonight, in the main event of Collision, myself and Will Hobbs, we are on a mission for the Don Callis family.
I understand it might sound like she was boasting about things she has done, but yeah, it was a response to how she was acting. Yeah, that's exactly it, Charles. Right? You're bang on.
Will Ospreay and Dynasty Prime, you're going to be the exact same thing.
I think she was starting to stumble around her words a little bit, which promos aren't supposed to be perfect, and I'm glad that they aren't. But it got the point across, and that's the main thing. I think that's sort of the theme that we've had tonight. And I think the guys that have been here throughout can agree with me here. Guys and girls that have been here. Even the matches, they've started a lot slower than usual, but eventually they just picked up and just go. Like Shibata and Moriarty was the same way until a go-go threw that punch in. The opening tag team match, the 6-person tag with the House of Black and Top Flight version 3.0. They were pretty slow for the first half of their match to go on. So keeping up with the theme of the night, that actually makes a lot of sense. So full credit to you, Mr. Shuttlesworth, for bringing that up, but I appreciate that. It's one thing I appreciate about this group. We can have different opinions, we can bring up different facts, and we can discuss things in a human manner. A lot of promotions you can't do that. A lot of areas you can't do that. And I'm in the middle of an ad promo, so I don't want to get through too many things here. So. Now, the only bad thing about this is the fact we're actually going to get Callis on commentary. Man. And Kyle's really changed his look up. He's looked really solid. Like, for so long, he was just a straight tag team specialist. He's had all these title matches, but he hasn't had one against Ethan Page, who has worked so hard to try to help promote and actually get into the old disagreements with Mr. Fletcher. They ended up giving him Moriarty, which ended up being a great match. But yeah, I just wanted to say, before we got rudely interrupted by that break there, I just appreciate this community and how we are able to discuss things. And I'm more than willing to admit I'm wrong. I've been wrong all the time. But I like the fact that we can be civil, we can discuss things, we can bring it up. And I am more than willing to take an about face on something. Forgive me, our temperatures in town have just been going up and down all over the place. We just got rid of our snow and now we're getting some on Tuesday again. Oh, you gotta love it. Claudio reluctantly taking the high fives from the guy in the crowd. Danielson's like, no, we're gonna get all of them. That is a lot of beef you gotta smack there. I don't know if he has to settle it down. He just has to get everybody to a quarter. These guys go back and forth here. Once again, everybody, just thank you for stopping by here. It's going to be a fun week next week with 3 big shows. With Dynamite on Wednesday, highlighted by Castagnoli versus Ospreay. We got Saturday Collision. Right now we're getting Deonna Purrazzo versus Mariah May. It's the biggest match that we've announced so far. Something you started this during the whole COVID thing. I use this a lot during the time to keep my sanity. Of course, wrestling was still going on in one form or another. There are others I still follow out here for wrestling, but always looking for others. Some are more objective than others. Yeah, I will admit I do get a little passionate about a few things, and I get a little biased on a few things. So they're moving it to Dynamite. They're not doing... Sorry, I just... But, yeah, I try to allow everybody to voice their opinion here. The only thing I ask is if you're in here just to crap on the product and say, why aren't you watching something else? That's the only person. I've only banned, I think, maybe one or two people here since the time I started streaming. Because I had one guy come in here and he just said, why aren't you watching all these indie shows? I'm like, because I'm watching AEW. Now, politely off. And he just wouldn't give up, so I had to... I remember I was... Even Zodiac here in the chat, I remember texting him about it after on Discord. Just like, I can't believe this guy... It was the first time I ever got threats on social media personally from my Twitch stream. So I was actually, I felt it like a badge of honor in some ways here. So, like, do you watch TNA? Why don't you watch that? Just joking. I'm TNA. It was even, I wouldn't even have minded if you want to mention TNA because I do have the channel up until they got rid of Scott D'Amore. I used to keep the TNA app. But I'm able to watch the weekly shows, so it's a nice consolation there. No, what this guy was doing was more direct indies. And this is back when WWE was Vince-led, I think is the proper way of putting it. AKA crap. So he's like, oh, this stuff sucks. You should watch some other stuff. I'm like, it's like when you come into a gamer stream and just, he's playing, like, for example, cheap plug here. Monday, we're going to be playing MLB The Show 24 on stream here. I might be here for tomorrow, but I'm for sure going to be here Monday with MLB The Show. And guys would come in here and just, why don't you play X and Y instead? Or even a better example, I'm doing Tears of the Kingdom coming up on Thursday here. I have made that official change after the response I got earlier this week. I was upset about D'Amore leaving, but I decided to keep watching after I saw all the changes weren't really that much, it seems. Still waiting to see what happens. I'm the same way. Like, I do have the Fight Network. I'm up here in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada, so the Fight Network is where you can watch it, along with a whole bunch of other stuff on that channel, so I do keep up with the product, because we do have somebody here at the Backbreaker Gaming channels. Oh, okay, you're in BC? That makes sense. There's another member of the Backbreaker family here, Astra Pizarro, who is an absolute TNA. She adores it. So I enjoy watching. I try to keep up and just basically I just like to watch good wrestling, right? And the fact, just try to keep up on wrestlers that we possibly could be getting up here in the future. Because I know, for example, Josh Alexander shows up in Edmonton quite a bit for Top Talent Pro Wrestling. Yeah, if you and also Mustafa Ali is coming up for the next show for Top Talent, which is supposed to be May 12th, I do believe their show is. AEW is here on the Wednesday, and Ali's here on the Friday. So, oh, and if you check the link that just came up on the screen, it's for our new. It's our new merch store. I got some Players Club merchandise there available, so no obligation. Just like if you're interested, feel free to give a follow if you like what you see. You want to hang out more. Bothers me that TSN doesn't have this on a channel. Saw that they had HD.
One more for the good guys.
Well, that just came out of nowhere. Thank you, RK. I appreciate the follow. Welcome to the Players Club. Enjoy the food. Enjoy the fanciness. Don't drink the punch, because I'm pretty sure McGee, who is missing tonight, he's actually at the Canadians Ottawa Senators game with another good friend of ours here. I think he spiked it, so be careful of the punch here. But bothers me the TSN doesn't have this on a channel. I saw that an HD soccer game was most. Who cares less? What about what I think about the belts? Here's the thing, and I've said this before and I'll say it again. Once AEW gets their new contract with whether it's Warner or whoever it is, I honestly believe that AEW is going to work with Sportsnet. I think they're going to move over to Sportsnet 360. They're going to cover the spots that were taken away by WWE moving to Netflix here coming up in January. That's why I don't think Tony Khan's worrying a whole lot about being on the specialty channels right now. Because I can totally see that Sportsnet's going to need some coverage, because the other thing that's coming up, if TSN ends up getting the NHL deal back, Sportsnet's going to be, well, they got a lot of stuff, but they're going to need, with Sportsnet drop NXT and SmackDown, that's part of the deal. Like, when the press release came out for WWE, all WWE programming for Canada will move to Netflix as of January. So if you're paying for Sportsnet, you don't have to in that case. So NXT, SmackDown, all the pay-per-views, they're going to move to Netflix for your Canada. And we're all assuming it's going to be at an extra level to watch it on Netflix, but that's to be seen yet. But I love how everybody just anticipated these kicks coming everywhere here. Oh, Hobbs almost missed his spot, but he got it there. But yeah, Mr. Shuttlesworth, or Miss Shuttlesworth, whichever. Will sort of caught him. I don't mind that. Then what about the network content? All supposed to be going to Netflix. Or we're losing it, one or the other. But yeah, personally, I use the WWE Network right now. And I pay the extra $15 or whatever for it, just because PLEs are going to... Jesus! I feel bad for that grip guy. Claudio comes flying out of nowhere with that uppercut. Bobby Cruz getting the hightail out of there. That was hilarious. That whole setup, just because the camera was in a one spot there, it actually turned out perfect at this point. We still got 15 minutes left. Big Euro sent the big man over the railing. That was pretty awesome right there. But yeah, that's the biggest thing right now. We don't know what's going to happen with the content. They haven't been clear. I would not mind Netflix didn't charge that much extra for content, like $5. I think it's going to be a $10 tier. Shibata's losing his voice. You gotta love it when Shibata just basically losing his voice all over the place here. But yeah, I totally could see them charging like $10 for the WWE add-on to Netflix. Jesus, there's that Brave Buster. But yeah, I could totally see AEW moving everything over to Sportsnet after WWE leaves. Because I don't know what's going to happen with the TV package for NHL. Because I think that contract is up after this season. Like, nobody's made an official announcement about what's going on with that. I have to look up the actual deal on it, but... If I didn't have to stand, I wouldn't. Jesus. Kyle going after that Brody Lee lookalike there. And Fletcher's using out the middle finger. This is network TV, my friend. You're not supposed to do that kind of stuff. It's amazing to see where Kyle Fletcher's gone in just such a small amount of time here. That's going to go back over. Oh! Oh, that's going to be on some video somewhere. Ah! Oh, this is rough. They're actually going with it on commentary. That is awesome. Because Fletcher screwed up. He was supposed to go the other way with it. Everybody should know that's what happened, right? Like, look at the gaff tape on the floor. All right, Frog, sit down. I just see the guy in the front row, the camera side. His name's Frog on the back, so I don't know if that's a actual player or whatnot, but Super Brave Buster? Thought that was a Sami Zayn special. That's it. Well, don't plan on any kids for the next few days. Oh, that face. That face is great. Yeah, but we'll bring it up on another show here, but I'm a little worried about Double or Nothing. Not the card, but just the way that. There you go. There you go. Now you got the spot. Got a little clunky there, but just the two right into the label lock. It's not going to be a finish because they're not on camera side. Danielson's too good for that. I love how Menard brings up the obvious. Not that anybody here is like, you know, following the rules at all. Fletcher falls out to the outside. Can Claudio get in now? Wrestlers and rules? Sorry, I'll throw that one in there right now for it. Because it seems why they're deserved. Wrestlers and rules. Here, Kyle, you can have some too. I will never forget that sequence that he had in 2016 in that fatal four-way match at Great Balls of Fire, where he literally just went European uppercut everybody in sight. Anybody within the I was going to say, we still got 7 minutes left. You got lots of time to finish it off there. He's a powerhouse. He should be able to take it just fine. And Claudio's just like, nope. Your legs are twigs. What are you doing? Oh, God. Oh, God. Claudio just got into he got into serious mode until that spine buster. Almost. That was pretty cool. You know what? You have a few flub ups in the middle of the match, but it's almost like when you watch our WWE 2K24 playthrough on GM mode. They always tell you that your card flow has to be strong start, strong finish. Not as good in the middle, but still try to keep it as good as you can. Almost a match, you got to feel the same way. Start it hot, finish it hot. You got a few things in the middle that aren't as good. You know, you can get away with that. I don't think there's many BCC chats. There's just a lot of wooing going on. I love how Stefan Smith actually tried to enforce a rule. Like, how long ago was this going to be a DQ? Just throw it out right now. Wrestling is not ballet, common trope. Absolutely. That's not your finisher, Claudio. That's not. But yeah, like, I like the fact that there is a little bit of not perfectness into my wrestling. As long as they don't turn it into like a complete goof through the whole thing. Like when everything's so streamlined, choreographed right off the bat, it doesn't. Sometimes it just doesn't feel like a competition, right? That's another common trope that you do see. Yeah, they're giving a full 25 here. That's a bother me when people talk botches a lot of the time. Yeah. Very nice work there by Fletcher. It looked like a botch, but it really wasn't. It was just supposed to trip him up a little bit. Danielson, oh my goodness. I haven't seen somebody fly that quick in a very long time. Refs actually trying to enforce a rule finally? I would have been Danielson with another chair. Well, you know they're going into that table because Shivani already has his book in his hand. Either that or he's... What, refs do more than count 1, 2, 3? I know, it's amazing. Oh, God. He was trying to go for that power bomb. What the? Claudio doesn't do hurricanranas. Oh, here we go. Jesus. What a match. That's how you can put two guys over in defeat. Such a great finish here. Oh, and here comes Takeshita. Watch this be Ospreay break this up. Setting up the match between Ospreay and Claudio, yeah. Oh, absolutely the right person got the pin here. Moxley ain't gonna be here. Brave Buster on the... Oh, okay. It's funny how they're not worried about Castagnoli right now. Caught isn't as bad of a booker as a lot of people. That's what I've been. That's what I said off the top of the show. Like, even when we had the video go out on Wednesday, you look at what happened there, and you see the response that Jack Perry's gotten over the last 24 hours. Because if you see that, you can almost see that it might be worthwhile. Like, the initial response, the initial heat that he got, you know what? People were talking about how horrible the whole thing was. The biggest thing you got to do is let it breathe. And as I was saying online here, one comment I made, and I'll still stand behind it. Tony Khan's going to look like a freaking genius at one of these times after doing this kind of stuff. And I think he will. Well, Perry was being set up for this. It's more about him than Punk, really. Exactly. You're going to get those CM Punk chants. I don't care if they showed this or not. You're still going to have that Punk group that's still all over being a part of that Punk faction, I think is the best way to put it.
After he was attacked by Shane Taylor Promotions. And coming up next, you'll defend your FTW championship against the very leader of that group, Shane Taylor. Now, knowing what he's capable of, what's your strategy going into this match?
Pardon the interruption. Look, I'll have your back tonight.
Hey, I appreciate that, Shibata, but even knowing what Shane Taylor is capable of, I got something on him tonight.
Shibata's gimmick is so simple but so funny. Oh, so Gogo gets another shot out here. Always love it when a commentator screws up on the ring announcing. As a color commentator, one of the lessons you learn as you go along, you have your time to shine, which is during the match. Your ring announcer has his time to shine when he's doing his announcements. Don't interrupt him as he's doing his work. And before we continue here, I just want to make a quick change to the channel description right now. I cannot type today, just from what I'm seeing here. There we go. We'll just update that so if people are wondering what's going on. So yeah, we'll stick around here for the 3 matches, and then as tradition, we will take about a 5-minute break here, about 5-10 minutes, just for me to get things changed over here quick to get the Xbox loaded up and get the video started render for the VOD copy on our YouTube channel, which is, there it is. If you're not subscribed to our YouTube channel, please do. It's free. Get a lot of great content, not only from myself, but also Astra Pizarro with the Ladies Wrestling Showcase featuring Mel Ball. And then Andre Melball's Wrestling Talk covering not only New Japan, but also Stardom, as well as the local indie scene around here in Edmonton. So all proud members of the Backbreaker family, as I'm once again another plug machine all over the place.
Tried to pop the hips, but that time Shane Taylor just got a low center of gravity, man. He just ducked down low, squatted low. I mean, Shane Taylor over the top rope there. He's no dummy, right?
Shane looks like you hear his shoulder there on that over the top there. I do like the fact that Collision has been able to produce the ability for certain stars to get more of a view. And Shane Taylor is definitely one of those that I enjoyed his work at ROH, especially that because they ruled that 6-man division down there, right? Pre Tony Khan. What is Turner doing? There are no rules. Fight goes anywhere. It's FTW rules. Last year or so, I've been going to AEW out here. Next month, you're gonna be. I like that. The fact you're also gonna get a chance to check out the ROH show while you're there too, because they do Rampage and Dynamite together, which we're gonna get on the Wednesday. Then on the Saturday, they do Ring of Honor and Collision together. So I don't know exactly the timing they're going to do for Ring of Honor for you. Normally, if it's in the Mountain Zone or East, they'll do Ring of Honor before, or in the Mountain Time Zone's case, before and after. But yeah, I'm glad you get a chance to get out to NEW there. Really fun promotion. It's gone through a few headaches here in the last 6 months or so. Wasn't sure if they'd be taping something else or not. Typically, that's the way it goes. Things are changing up next week because of the pay-per-view. They're going to be doing pay-per-view and NBA. So they're actually going to be doing Ring of Honor and Dynamite next Wednesday. And then they'll do Rampage and Collision both on Saturday. And the reason they're doing that is because the first official day of the NHL and NBA playoffs, I believe, is Friday. Well, especially I believe it's the NBA playoffs have their official first day that night. So TNT, TBS, they're going to be jam-packed full of games there. From as far as I know, there might be something different on, but I'm pretty sure that's the way that's working out. I know the NHL regular season up here at least runs till Thursdays, so it's not going to be the NHL playoffs there. Shane Taylor's doing work tonight. That's for damn sure. It's been tough with Jericho popping into the picture here. I know that we've had a bit of a consensus here. The fact that that Jericho just hasn't been able to keep up with these younger talents and actually put them over the way he says he does. Talking about Athena there, yeah, like, I don't know, chat, I just got this feeling that they might give that title to Red Velvet tonight. I don't think they should, but watching ROH more consistently one time, started watching a few years ago when Lethal went back after his TNA run, yeah, like, that time there, like, just before they closed down the pre-Tony Khan era, the shows are actually really popping really well. Now the ROH weekly shows, while they're not bad, like they're good presentation. Like I'm willing to pay the $10 to watch them, right? Love Scum, yeah. I didn't get a chance to see Scum until they moved into TNA for a while there. My first actual taste of them. Taste of Scum. It's all right. I'm taking that one. Is back the old-fashioned Global Force Wrestling time. That was hilarious. The fact that we knew and we didn't know exactly what was going on with that whole time there with Global Force. Why are you calling him off? There are no rules in this match. Holy camole. And Hook is just sitting there. Yeah, get over here. Ooh. The verbiage here. Okay, yeah. You knew there had to be something that would have changed things around. No, it's going to take a... He's going to get that one suplex that's going to drive... Okay, sorry. Yeah, my bad. My bad. Yes, I do remember Scum vaguely in ROH. I was thinking of Reno Scum. Yeah, that's my bad. Oh, there it is. Oh! But he landed on his own shoulder and hurt himself. Damn. His dad! Who does he get it from? His dad! One thing I appreciate about it, about AEW more than anything right now, and it's the same thing with TNA right now. TNA, ROH, the amount of wrestling versus the total time, the percentage is crazy compared to what we're used to. Taylor's not facing the hard cab. He ain't with her. I just always throw that out there for some weird reason. Kevin Steen, Steve Corino, and Jimmy Jacobs and later Matt. Okay, yeah. Yeah, that would be a faction to have, to say the least. I love Jimmy Jacobs and all the work he's done. I got a chance to talk to him a few times here when he was part of Canada's Wrestling Elite that would come through town here. And the fact that he came in, he was the guy that actually helped out Danny Duggan, the promoter there, when Brutus Beefcake decided he didn't feel like working anymore and just booked out. Just pieced out. Got prepaid for the next 4 days and then pieced out on his own plane. Yeah, there it is. He's not going to tap. He's going to pass out. There's the pass out. Yeah, so many indie stories that I've heard around here are just... I'm glad things have cleaned up quite a fair bit. Compared to what it was pre-COVID. Like, especially in Alberta, overall, I just felt it was pretty scummy in general. But now it's really turned into a very positive direction in most cases. I love how they have, as soon as the match is over, all they're doing now is just promoting Dynamite on Wednesday. If I think about ROH back then, it would air at like 1 a.m. on Saturday. I think it was 2:30 here.
Battle of the Belts against Roderick Strong in an Eliminator match. And tonight, when I defeat Roddy Strong, I'll be one step closer to fulfilling my destiny and becoming the AEW International Champion. Just want to say good luck tonight, man.
Oh, wow. He's wishing Roddy good luck. Roddy's pushing Kyle, and Kyle's like, no, good luck to the other guy, to Rocky Romero here. All right. No, I remember I think it was 2:30 just because in my college days, yes, I know, and a lot of my coaching days, watch Saturday Night Live and stand for ROH, yeah. I would, in my college days, it was WCW that was on that late. At WCW Saturday Night showed the replay at 2:30 in the morning. Yes, I'm that old that it was WCW at that point still, but Ring of Honor, I would normally come home from tournaments on a Saturday night and come check out. That's what it was. Because up until 2000 and you're older than me, all right. I'm 45, so don't worry, I got a full box of VHS. I got they're covered up here in the display. I don't have it available right now here on this screen here, but I got 2 rows of WWE and ECW VHS tapes, so I'd like that. Your dad would rent a pile of VHS, yeah. I know that's pretty much how. That's how. Actually, VHS is the way that I originally got into the UFC, and this is way back, like UFC 3 and 4. Where they didn't have weight classes. It was a one-night tournament plus the super battle match, or the premier match of the event. So they would give time between the semis and the final. And I remember watching that. And then once they started getting into weight classes and all that, and everybody basically learned how to do everything, that's when I sort of tapped out on UFC. And mixed martial arts in general. All the respect to the athletes in the world for all their training and everything that they do. It's just nothing I can sit there and watch just because everybody in many ways, everybody's got their specialties, but most of the toolbox is all the same thing for each fighter. So, but yeah, I would. I remember my first show that I ever watched as a kid. I was 5 years old, and we would watch WrestleMania 3 on a scrambled signal on a 24-foot dish that we had at one of my friend's godfather's place. So from there, it bit me a little bit. Most of it was just Maple Leaf Wrestling on Saturdays. Never was a tribalist because I was exposed to all kinds of stuff. I've always been the case, so I just want to see good wrestling, and I don't want to say tribalist would be a good term for me, but ever since the Vince era, this last Vince era where it's been proven that he just had no clue what he was doing. I really got turned off for a while from WWE. But now it's a little bit different. Like I'm not hating the new product now, but the old product, I just couldn't watch it. The AEW just fell into place just perfectly. And like I said, the biggest thing for me is if I'm going to turn on a wrestling show, and as I'm going to be sitting here chatting with you guys, it's a lot easier for me to talk about a show when there's nonstop wrestling in the background. Got turned off a couple times from WWE, but watching it. My point right now when it comes to WWE, Fridays, I usually have it on in the background when I'm doing other stuff because I'm on call at work. So I'm always just puttering at something. Raw, I'll watch the next day on, I'll either DVR to just skip all the clips or skip all the parts I don't need to watch because the amount of wrestling that they have on a 3-hour show is actually very scary. Or else I'll just go on YouTube and check it out. Shout out to Rocky Romero right now. Let's just pull the curtain back a little bit. Rocky was announced last night at the Windy City Showdown that he is now the new official VP of Talent Relations for New Japan Pro Wrestling. We all know that he's pretty much been that for a while now. He's always the guy brokering the deals. He is the gentleman that was responsible for getting all that New Japan footage for the Sting retirement and all the videos that they were doing. He was the guy that was responsible for doing that. But further to your point there, RK, yeah, like there's different points where you get turned off by everything, right? AEW, I really haven't been... There hasn't been an opportunity to turn yourself off from it, I feel. Just for the fact that as crappy as some of the storylines get, yes, we have had some stupid ones. We've always get good matches. And I think good wrestling can trump a bad storyline anytime. Never saw the Attitude Era, but then Hogan went to TNA, got back into wrestling again. Then Vince started his misuse his talent, stopped watching. Then Hunter got more. That's fair. For me, I'll be honest that I have brought this up before. I was actually homeless during the Attitude Era. I was very book smart in high school. When I got to college, I knew a lot about book smart, but I didn't know about anything else. And learned the hard way on how to develop like survival habits, learning to take care of yourself, not just your schedule as you go along with it. So for the better part of 2 years, I was basically in and out month to month on where I was living and whatnot. So I didn't get a chance to watch it. I got a lot of, most of those VHS tapes are during the Attitude Era, so I can catch up on that. So when I say I've watched a lot of Attitude Era wrestling, it's because of the tapes. It's been the DVDs. It's been not so much the network, but I do listen to a lot of podcasts when I'm at work about it. One of my favorites is the Attitude Era podcast. If you go back to season 1, they literally go through every single pay-per-view of the Attitude Era, all the way from WrestleMania 14, all the way through to 17. Then they cover the ECW lifetime of pay-per-views, and there's podcasts everywhere that you can pick up everything on this. So I've thought about going on the network to watch, but never think. Yeah, Well, you only got, what, 6 months left? Sorry, it's 4, so 7.5 months left to use it, so. But when it comes to TNA, it's funny. I have a CD or a DVD wallet just over on the side over there. Every single weekly pay-per-view that they had, the Wednesday night pay-per-views, I bought them, and I have a DVR. I actually still have the DVR here, and I literally taped every single one that came on. So I have a full library myself here. That when Hogan got involved, I was watching a little bit, but that's when my interest waned a little bit, because you start to learn a little bit more about the politics of Hogan, and not so much the racist stuff, but just literally the stuff where he put himself over in positions where he really shouldn't. And it just, the booking seemed to jump the shark way too many times in TNA at that point, so. I love how Shivati's calling it out right now. Simply saying, look, they're just trying to distract so Roddy gets a little bit more time to breathe. I appreciate the thought of these Eliminator matches. It gives a chance for the champion to it gives the champion a chance to be on TV and don't necessarily have to put the title on the line every time. Don't think Hogan was as bad as people make it seem. Thought he got a lot of people work that made out of. I can understand where you're coming from there, but my personal feeling is just, while Hogan put a lot of his buddies up, he also made sure that his buddies were the ones that were on top, not just the best talent, not just what was best for business. He just went with whatever could get him the best personal gain, which I get it. That's a wrestling thing. Like, if you break it down to its bone details here, wrestling is two people. If you bring it back to curb back, wrestling is two people or four or whichever in a match working together to step on each other. If you really think about it, if you're trying to advance to the next level, yes, ultimately, in a perfect world, everybody would move up at the same time. But you're working together, trying to create this great match. And eventually, you have to be thinking in the mind that you're the one who wants to move up, right? That backbreaker on the knee is absolutely horrendous. First time I actually seen it wasn't from Roderick Strong. It was from a Western Canadian wrestler here, Michael Allen Richard Clark, the longest name in pro wrestling. He started doing it at, first time I saw was actually the Clandestine Society original show back in November 2019. I'll admit, I was very frustrated at Roderick Strong for the fact that he got, well, I don't want to say neutered, but he was really held back in NXT for the fact that he did, as part of the Undisputed Era, he just didn't get a chance to get as far up as I felt he should have. I love this, the fact that they have so many extra guys on the roster that they can do commentary for. Even if Riccaboni can't make it tonight, you got Magic Matt Menard, Daddy Magic. He's from New Japan. He's got that extra power card. I wish people would start realizing that that's what a lot of people at AEW have, that extra power card where you get to fire up randomly after a 1 count. It's also known as the WWE 2K24 personal kick out. When you're playing, you're doing the flick game when you're getting pinned. It doesn't care if you're doing it. If you hit the first time, you pretty much kick out at a half count, and it just doesn't make sense as you go along. Just because you got a little extra skill there. Rocky almost had it there. I do like the fact that they put Athena on the main event. I think she's going to be able to get that energy back in the building. Oh, there's a miss. Oh, God. That boot should do it. I love how Taven grabs the belt every single time. Wonder why they don't build to Battle of the Belts. In many ways, this is supposed to be like... I gotta feel these Battle of the Belts shows. If Tony Khan could help it, he wouldn't have them. But it's almost like a guarantee once every quarter. This is supposed to be like a highlight show that TNT could use. Because they would have this regardless whether you have Collision or not, right? So I would like to see them do a little bit of a build for it, but I just don't think that you... My dad's watching the hockey game, so I was checking the... Hey, you know what? Oh, God. Two and 9/10. I know I have a running scoreboard here, but unfortunately it's behind me, so I have to actually look myself here. Oh, we're halfway through the first. We're still good here. So yeah, I have that sports scores bot there on the bottom. There it is. May not want him. He has them, so why not maximize him? Fair enough. I just think the timing of this would be absolutely brutal. You're trying to promote this while you're trying to promote the pay-per-view. Oh, God. Yeah, it did. You have a very good point, Zodiac. And I would like to see them do something to maybe even have a couple matches to qualify for who gets to face somebody at this point or whatnot. But you know you have this exact... Yeah, I get it. There is Kyle the Vancouverite, yeah. Always appreciate the Canadian content here, right? Well, there goes that friendship. Yeah, it was a matter of time. It made sense. So we did get a story beat progression at least. So look, maybe Kyle O'Reilly's going to be the one to take the title from Roderick. Kyle getting the point. I'm glad. So Serena comes out. So we're going to get a Serena D promo, obviously. Okay, there we go.
I hear the professor, Serena Deep. Serena, I want to take you back to last week's collision when we saw you come out after Yuka Sakazaki's match. And I guess the question on everyone's mind is why?
Lexi, I was sitting in the back and I was watching Yuka's very impressive victory, and I'm thinking I am watching a great professional wrestler. I'm watching somebody that I would love to get in there and I would love to tear it up with. And tonight, the professor is here at Battle of the Belts. But I have yet to receive my championship opportunity. And I'm not sweating it. Not worried about it. Because since my return, I'm undefeated.
You haven't done anything.
And the professor is sitting pretty at number 3, baby.
Has she wrestled? Or she just been on Dynamite a few times? Maybe Rampage couple? Or sorry, Collision when I wasn't on here? She's probably just a Rampage girl.
Invitation. An invitation to where? Into Deep's dojo. So you can show me how good you are.
Waiting for Serena versus Deonna, yeah.
And that I am what I say I am. The professor of professional wrestling. That was great.
I would like to see that. I would like to see there's a few different matches I would like to pull in there. You know, I would love to see them go back and finish off Shida and Deeb. Just because that feud, it felt like it sort of had a conclusion, but it didn't, in my opinion. Because Serena got hurt there at that point. And then, well, hell, we could get... You get Serena and Taya. I would love to see that. Mariah and Serena. Like, let's go. And like we said earlier, once AEW starts getting a lot of people off the injured list here, yes, there are going to be some others that go on it. That's just unfortunate thing that happens when you're dealing with combat. A very activity intensive performance. You're going to get some injuries going on. So hopefully we can start getting the roster to be a little bit more full here. And with that, they can produce a lot of these dream matchups. And the wrestling will always take care of itself when you got a roster as stacked as AEW does. But as we're in the last commercial break of our wrestling portion of the show, I usually give a breakdown of what's going to be coming up here the next week here. After we're done here, once again, I will be taking a quick break here. Just want to download the video, get it over to my other computer so I can render for the YouTube video. We'll be back with a little WWE 2K24 GM mode, which is going to feature week 13 as we're heading over to Fastlane here. We're 2 weeks away from that, which will be next Saturday. Might be on tomorrow. I got to see what condition I'm in. I'll admit I came into this stream tired, and I got to work tomorrow, so I want to make sure that I'm in a good condition and, you know, not being some miserable jerk on here for you guys. But I definitely will be on here on Monday with MLB The Show 24, probably starting around 7 o'clock Mountain, 9 o'clock Eastern, somewhere in there. Wednesday we'll be here for Collision, followed by week 14, or we'll be here for Dynamite, followed by week 14 of WWE 2K24 by GM mode. Hopefully I'll have some talent by then. Thursday afternoon, we will be back on Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, as we just finished up our first dungeon, or first temple, sorry, let me correct myself. And we just, we're looking to see what's next on the docket. We're probably going to start looking at heading towards another temple, but we do have to get a lot of shrines out of the way here, so. And then maybe Friday, but definitely on Saturday, we're going to have our AEW Collision Rampage Sidecast, followed by the Fastlane WWE 2K24 by GM PLE. And I guess I could call it a PFLE, Premium Free Live Event. Once again, if you guys are, as always, folks, thank you for stopping by here. I truly do appreciate it. If you're not followed, please click that follow button to know anytime I go live. And then if you really like what you see and you want to help support, you can either check out our merchandise store or hit the subscribe button there. And if you have a Prime sub, it costs you absolutely nothing and get you out of those stupid commercial breaks.
Making her way to the ring accompanied by Billy Starks. She is my ring overlord, the fallen goddess, your forever Ring of Honor women's.
Billy Starks with a gotcha shirt. That's hilarious. So this is going to be 50 tonight if she wins. She is fit absolutely perfect into this brand here. Just a... Yeah, it sucks that they end up having Dash end up be one of the releases by AEW.
And her opponent from straight out of your mama's kitchen, Red Velvet.
What a night it's been, Tony. Collision battle of the belts.
At least we got two different colors on the gear tonight, so it's always one of my biggest pet peeves in a championship match.
Red Velvet, the challenger. Billy Stark's coming over here, jawing at us. Look at this. She's a real piece of work. Yeah, this woman, the Ring of Honor.
I love how everybody used to love Billy Stark so much, and now after what she did, just instantly just nope.
Here we go. Title on the line. I made a mistake. She is 19 years, but when you're that young, right? 18, 19, Liz is still kind of young. Man, it's the beginning of a great career. It's pretty incredible how far she's come in such a short time. Okay, this is Ring of Honor rules, which means there has to be a handshake.
What did she do? You have to go back to the Supercard of Honor show. And her match against Queen Aminata for the TV title, the final. She went for a senton off the top. She came down and they had Aminata got her knees up, right? But at that point, Billy essentially faked a neck injury to the point where they brought the doctor in the ring and put the collar on. And as Aminata was trying to help Billy get out as she was standing up, which should have been a dead giveaway if you ask me, but I digress. She ends up trying to roll her up, kicked her in the back of the head, put her in a sleeper, and ended up winning the TV championship that way. So that's why she's got the whole gotcha shirt there, so... It was actually really well done, and from people that were watching live, and I was watching the live tweets as we were going along, most people got by everything that happened there. I got until she stood up. Because anytime they put a cervical collar on somebody, they will not let you stand up. Because that's extra pressure that you're not supposed to have on your neck, right? I love how the heel-face dynamic is completely opposite of what it's supposed to be here. Everybody loves Athena. And Red Velvet, every time she tries to do a mocking thing or anything, she just... Not a big fan of faking entries to desensitize. I totally get it. Like, whoa! Well. Roderick and Kyle. So we're getting two big pieces of news coming out of tonight for Dynasty. We're getting this match, Strong and O'Reilly for the title, and then during Collision tonight, we found out that FTR versus the Bucks is going to be a ladder match now. I would like to see them take a little bit more time and build up Strong and O'Reilly. Maybe they'll still do it. They could use Wardlow as the heater to get in the way to cause the DQ or whatever. Jesus. Did you see that bounce on Velvet there? Like, there was a little boing on that. Now everybody's starting to fall a goddess chant in the back. So, but yeah, like right now, Dynasty is turning into an absolutely fantastic card here. So, I hope O'Reilly either wins or gets another match down the road to win. Of course, I would love to see it follow up to a Double or Nothing match. Because remember, we're only 6 weeks after Dynasty is Double or Nothing. Sorry, 5 weeks. So there is time to build, but there isn't a lot of time to build. And that's one of the core four. Because, yeah, once we get Double or Nothing out of the way, then it's Forbidden Door, and then it's all in, all out. Which I find it interesting that Moxley is the IWGP champion, and the Forbidden Door show is being held at Long Island. Gee, I wonder who lives there. Like, if you want to have a pop for a return, you bring out Moxley versus MJF again, or you could do a whole bunch of other matches there. You want to get Jack Perry's the Ultimate Heel, get MJF out there as your Ultimate Face to face him. That's a little unique. Athena definitely has a different moveset, and she's really adopted and really embraced this role as the ROH locker room leader. I love a little stank on that spine buster there. All right, we got about 10 minutes here left before TV time runs out. They will not get an overrun for this. Well, she's more than defending herself right now. Uh-oh. Just couldn't get it lined up perfectly. So the funny thing is, on a surfboard like that or a bow and arrow, where you grab the arms and the legs, it's more of a two-person trust move. Oh, uh-oh. And if both people can't do it properly, then all of a sudden we're going to get into trouble here. And it's just not going to look great, but... Oh, it's Northern Kentucky University. I thought it was Kentucky. Oh, she got it. Home of the Hilltoppers. Always got to grow with the Hilltoppers. You can tell the pace of this match slowing down here. Just getting ready for the finish here. I wonder if they're going to start toying with this 3-hour show thing all across. Oh, that's right. RVD is going to be around next week. So yeah, we're going to have some inferences, some ideas, some messages. That's going to be, yeah. I think Red's going to have to work on her out. With all due respect, she's going to have to work on her outfit a little bit. She's sitting there adjusting it the whole time. But yeah, we're getting the go time here. RVD edition of Collision next week. I'll see if I can come up with the smoke weed every day sound to add to the soundboard for next week. Now that I finally got the merch store up, I might have a little bit of time to... I'm still waiting for a couple emotes to come in to just... Oh, Jesus! I ordered a couple emotes that should be in next week as well, so... Oh, nope, miss. That was all Athena on that DDT. 2.5. Almost. Yeah, this is... I got a feeling that these Battle of the Belt shows... Probably once the new contract comes up, they're probably going to get rid of him. Oh my goodness, caught her with one hand. Seriously. That's pretty damn awesome. Jesus. Think about the strength that she's got there. Oh. And Red Velvet must be, Red Velvet must have got some inner, Stardom in her there for that automatic fire up there after the big move. From the hair into the... Oh, my goodness. I am so glad I don't have to worry about that problem. Would have been nice to see Riccaboni here for this, but... to tell a little bit more of the story about what's going on. But Shivani still hasn't been bad tonight. Ooh. I don't know about that. What a right. Shane Taylor, Athena, just knockout shots left, right, and center. Roddy Strong's knee. The old face. I was hoping Battle of the Belts was going to be a cross-promotional thing when I first heard the trademarking. Just a popcorn watch ready much. If you were around last week or on Wednesday, we were actually discussing whether we were going to actually cover this tonight. Just because it is one of those... We're supposed to have 4 Saturdays a year that we're supposed to have this network special. And AEW is not going to give up the TV time, right? So now that they have Collision, they really don't need this. But it's part of the contract right now, so you sort of have to have it, right? They could turn these into lots more, just like Zodiac was mentioning earlier. Get some stories together, build some stuff to it, but...
I don't know what Really Starks wants to do here, but Red Velvet had a hell of a match. She gave the world champion... You gotta shake hands. We gotta shake hands here, right? No, that's right. We gotta shake hands. Let's shake hands. It's really nice that Billy Starks to hold her up. Oh!
Well, there's your handshake.
Turn up in front of the face of Red Velvet. Red Velvet's had enough. Yes, she sure has. Yeah. And the fight's going on here, but I mean, she is outnumbered.
So who's going to come out for the save?
After a title match. And can we get somebody out here who's going to watch us? What is that?
Okay, the TV champ. Or the former TV champ. That took a little bit longer than it should have there, but still going to do what it needs to. Queen Aminata, straight out of South Africa. Legit. Not one of these build from. It actually works out well, the fact that, you know, Athena might, like, Queen Aminata might be the person that takes that title.
At the Indiana Farmers Coliseum, there you see the next Saturday graphic. We'd love for you to join us and live next Wednesday. What a week it's going to be.
Shivani's tripping over his words. I think 3 hours is lots for him.
On pay-per-view, we've had a new match announced tonight. And remember, we are AEW. We're the best wrestle. From Athena, I'm Toni Shibata. Thanks for being
All right, we're wrapping up here. Once again, like we said, a great wrestling show as always. The wrestling is always top notch on these shows. Like, I don't care what storylines are involved. Most of the wrestlers that get in this ring do an amazing job for us. And yeah, I would have to say that I'm not surprised that there's no title changes here. I would have liked to see Rocky Romero do a little bit better. Maybe get the win since it's a non-title match. All right, Zodiac, you have yourself a good night. And good to see you here, Mr. Vic. We're just wrapping up here for the first half of the show. Didn't expect to hang on for the third hour, but honestly, I saw Athena on the card, and I'm always a sucker for watching a good Athena match. So we ended up watching Battle of the Belts as well here tonight. But